to Agent Mike's movie TV show Reviewers Christmas Cavalcade. Yeah! Of course, as I'm the Jolly Elf, I'll be happy to guide you through all of those holiday movies and TV specials presented here in this year's Christmas Cavalcade. Have you ever heard of a year without any Santa Claus? Well, if you are, then in this 1970s holiday special by Rankin, it is called The Year Without a Santa Claus. Take a look.
It was a year without a Santa Claus, a Christmas Eve so sad. It was a year without a Santa Claus, the worst we've ever had.
Oh yes, The Year Without a Santa Claus is about Santa Claus who wakes up with a cold and they are forced to cancel Christmas. You know what happens when Christmas is canceled? There will be no presents to give out, and that's kind of sad. Mrs. Claus tried to dress up like Santa, her husband, to see if she could try to deliver Christmas presents to everyone around the world, disguised as Santa Claus. Of course, it didn't work out, so she summons two elves, Jingle and Jangle, to fly to Southtown with a baby reindeer named Vixen. In this holiday special, there's Snow Miser and Heat Miser, which I will talk about later. Mr. Claus disguised himself as an old man to go to the town. Once they arrive, they disguise Vixen as a dog, and they were mistaken for a lost dog and sent to the pound. Jingle and Jangle befriend a young boy named Iggy, and they discuss with Iggy's family what Christmas is. As Santa, in disguise, explains Iggy what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. Even if there is no Santa, it will come on Southtown. They met a mayor at Southtown to free the reindeer, and proving that Jingle and Jangle were Santa's magical elves, and decided to make it snow in Southtown on Christmas Day. But there's nature against war between Snow Miser and Heat Miser. Yes, I even like the song Snow Miser and Heat Miser, Mr. Icicle and Mr. Heat Blister. These songs are amazing during Christmas. Mrs. Claus, Jingle and Jangle, and Iggy ask Snow Miser and Heat Miser to make sure they get snowy weather in Southtown and a warm spring weather in the North Pole. The Miser brothers met with Mother Nature and agrees the situation. Yes, the snow has brought to Southtown after all, thanks to Snow Miser and Heat Miser and Mother Nature. Of course, every child in the world decided to give a present to Santa Claus, and there's one little girl is sad to miss Santa, and that she'll have a blue Christmas. As Santa, touched by all the evidence he had seen of caring and generosity, Santa decides to pack the sleigh and make his Christmas Eve journey after all, including Southtown. This is also one of my all-time favorite holiday specials that even Rankin could do, just like Santa Claus is coming to town. And of course, that Snow Miser Heat Miser tune was so catchy. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this holiday special a 9. This is definitely a must-see, especially if you love Santa Claus after all.
Next up, Jack Frost. He's always nipping at your nose. As Pardon Me Pete the Groundhog predicted if there would be 6 more weeks of winter.
Pardon me, Pete, the groundhog, who has a deal with Jack Frost to extend winter by 6 weeks, letting him sleep that much longer. There he is, good old Jack Frost, the one who's talking to Father Winter, not to be confused with Jack Frost, as Martin Short from the Santa Claus 3 The Escape Clause, and Jack Frost, the Guardian from Rise of the Guardians. Jack asks Father Winter if he can become human to be with Alyssa, in which Father Winter agrees with Jack. Jack became human, known as Jack Snip, as he was a tailor. Snip and Holly were sent by Father Winter to ensure Jack does not get into trouble. Eliza is charmed by Jack Snip, but she harbors romantic dreams of Sir Revewer, a knight in golden armor. Jack is off to stop the evil desires of Cossack King Kubla Cross.
Kuba's Khan, like Kubal Khan, he's the villain of Jack Frost.
Eliza is kidnapped and Jack is out to rescue and stop the desires of Kubla Cross. After that, he has a castle that it was his home, a horse, a bag of gold, and tried to propose in hand in marriage for Eliza. But during his absence, she had fallen in love with Sir Revewer. And then Jack becomes a sprite again for good and blows ice onto Eliza's wedding bouquet, turning it white. Snip calls out to Jack that winter wouldn't be the same without him. Of course, what I like about this special is that Jack Frost, who was nearly an elf. And this classic holiday special, that for everyone who loves the cold weather, and Jack Frost will nip at your nose. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this holiday special 8.5. If you love the cold weather, you should watch this special.
Here is the greatest holiday movie, which is originally set in Indiana, in a fictional town. This is called A Christmas Story with Ralph.
In A Christmas Story, it tells the story about Ralphie Parker, a boy who is interested in a BB gun, which he really wants for Christmas. But his mom told him, "You'll shoot your eye out." As the story goes, Ralphie goes with his friends, Flick and Schwartz, to school each and every day. Randy, Ralphie's little brother, who's a crybaby and refuses to eat food on his own. And during this scene that I like, Flick accepts a triple dog dare from Schwartz to stick his tongue onto the school flagpole. His tongue freezes onto the pole, requiring assistance from the police and the fire department to free him. Although their teacher, Miss Shields, to some extent, knows how it happened, and makes them write an essay of what they want for Christmas. Neighborhood bullies Scott Farkas and Grover Dill often torment Ralphie, Flick, and Schwartz. And of course, Ralphie is working on an essay to find out what he wants for Christmas. That's part of the assignment. Ralphie's mother makes Randy eat like a pig. And the old man receives a major award, which turns out to be a leg lamp. And it is lovely that the leg lamp is part of A Christmas Story. Yes, it is the Battle of the Leg Lamp, where the old man, Ralphie and Randy's father, overjoyed it, but Ralphie and Randy's mother is not. He was overjoyed, especially his neighborhood, and finding out that it is the battle. Meanwhile, Ralphie turned in his essay of what he wanted for Christmas to his teacher, Miss Shields. And later, he helps his father to fix the tire, but the screws fell and said an F word. And he was placed on lifebuoy soap, and he said to his mother it was Schwartz who made him say the F word. Next day, Ralphie receives a decoder and a letter from Little Orphan Annie's radio show. Little Orphan Annie is sponsored by Rich Chocolate Ovaltine. He receives a message on the radio, and he decodes in the bathroom. That's his privacy. And after decoding, despite shouting from his mother and his little brother, he finally decoded and says, "Be sure to drink your Ovaltine."
But in A Christmas Story, we know that Ovaltine is a crummy commercial. But in real life, it's rich chocolatey Ovaltine, the greatest chocolate milk commercial that I saw before, where the kids' slogan is,
More Ovaltine, please.
right.
Ralphie beats up Farkas, and his mother takes him home, and everything puts it off the hook in the process. Ralphie and his family saw Santa Claus in a parade from Higbee's department store. And while at the Higbee's department store, Ralphie and Randy lines up in a long line to meet with the department store Santa, who looks evil. When Ralphie asks Santa what he wants a BB gun. But unlike the teacher and his mother, he said,
"You'll shoot your eye out, kid."
There's the Wizard of Oz characters in the department store, which is from MGM's The Wizard of Oz. On Christmas Eve, they set up a Christmas tree. When Christmas Day came, Ralphie and Randy were excited to see presents under the tree. But what Ralphie didn't like is the pink bunny costume from Aunt Clara. He tried looking for a BB gun underneath the tree, but can't find it until eventually it found a present near the desk, which has a BB gun. Ralphie's excited to try it outside, and he tries it out, but the bullet ricochets the target and hits his cheek, and his eyeglasses fell, and thinking an icicle hit his eye and broke his eyeglasses, Ralphie's mother believes him. Of course, the dogs took away the Christmas dinner, and they went out into a Chinese restaurant to try the Chinese turkey and the meal. And Ralphie knew that the BB gun was the best present he received. What I like about this film as its comedy style, it's a funny, good-looking Christmas film that is sure to be a classic. And everyone really laughed out loud and loved this kind of holiday film that was aired on TNT and TBS for 24 hours on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give this movie a 9. This holiday movie is a classic, and you should check this out.
Here's another holiday TV special to review that you are gonna love this.
Now, because there are many versions of the Christmas Carol, I'm only going to be talking about Mickey's Christmas Carol. If I talk about every other version of a Christmas Carol, a movie or a special, I'll be doing this in the next Christmas Cavalcade. But anyway, in the beginning, where Ebenezer Scrooge counts his money, and Bob Cratchit, who works with Scrooge. As you know, Scrooge used to work with his partner, Jacob Marley. At the beginning of every Christmas Carol, Marley was dead to begin with. And that's the start. Scrooge's nephew, Fred, shows up in his workplace. Fred tries to invite his uncle for a Christmas dinner, but then Scrooge says, "Bah, humbug." As the story goes, Ebenezer Scrooge met with Jacob Marley, his old partner, and asked him he'll be visited by 3 spirits, past, present, and future. the ghost of the Christmas past, takes Scrooge to meet with Old Fezziwig and his beautiful wife, whose name is Isabel, Scrooge's sweetheart in Fezziwig. They dance to the music until years later. And divorce came when Scrooge forecloses the mortgage. For the ghost of Christmas Present, played by Willie the Giant, he takes Scrooge to the present day of time to Bob Cratchit's house, where the Cratchit family is preparing for a wonderful Christmas dinner. Scrooge sees his worker Bob Cratchit and his family and Tiny Tim, as Scrooge thinks Cratchit was worried about Tiny Tim. Then in The Ghost of Christmas Future, or Christmas Yet to Come, performed by Pete, the ghost takes Scrooge to the cemetery where Tiny Tim is dead, and Bob Cratchit mourned for him. And even Ebenezer Scrooge is deaf. I'm not going to show you the deaf part, but if you want to see it, you definitely want to find out for yourself. Christmas Day came after the three spirits had made Ebenezer Scrooge to change his ways. And he meets with the charity workers and gives money to the poor. The charity workers were so pleased and so overjoyed that Scrooge had changed his ways, and offers Bob Cratchit a new position as his partner, and enjoys a wonderful Christmas dinner with the Cratchit family. What I like about this holiday special is the same flavor of A Christmas Carol, but with Disney style. There are many other versions of A Christmas Carol that I'll be doing it next year. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this holiday special 8.6. This airs every holiday, so you should watch this and find out.
Ooh, I'm scared. Well, of course, here's this next holiday movie called Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, it looks like I'm going to give myself a second chance to review this movie again. Halloween Town is a dream world filled with citizens such as deformed monsters, ghouls, ghosts, goblins, vampires, werewolves, and witches. Jack Skellington is the Pumpkin King. He has grown tired of the same routine year after year, and he decides what he's going to do next with his pet dog, Zero. Jack accidentally opens a portal to Christmas Town as he impressed by the feeling and style of Christmas. Did you know in The Nightmare Before Christmas, it also features Christmas Town, which is suitable for Christmas?
Aha! Christmas Town. Now that's my kind of town.
As Jack Skellington found out that this place is called Christmas Town, he decides to spread the word to everyone back in Halloween Town. That's Santa Claus in Christmas Town, alright. Jack presents his findings and his understanding of the holiday to the Halloween Town residents. But Sally the Ragdoll begins to feel a romantic attraction towards Jack. Oh, I also love Sally the Ragdoll. Lock, Shock, and Barrel, Halloween Town's trick-or-treaters, captured Santa Claus, but of course they directed to Oogie Boogie, the mean boogeyman.
Trick or treat!
Oh, that Oogie Boogie is the scariest villain in Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Everyone thinks Oogie Boogie is scary. As Halloween Town is making Christmas, Sally tries to stop Jack with a fog, but Jack takes off and delivers scary presents to children. Eventually, the military shot Jack down, and then Jack confesses, and he's back to himself again, and decides to stop Oogie Boogie. When Jack arrived at Oogie Boogie's lair, Oogie Boogie tied Sally and Santa, but then Jack came to his senses and decided to stop Oogie Boogie.
It's time to get rid of Oogie Boogie. Abracadabra!
All's well that ends well, as Oogie Boogie's been defeated. Santa Claus himself sets things right, and then Jack and Sally had romantic relationship to each other and share with a kiss. Of course, as before, what I like about this movie is a perfect stop-motion film to what Tim Burton could do. And this is one of the best movies for Halloween and Christmas. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this holiday movie 9.5. It's a little scary, but hey, who needs to watch this movie? This is so fun celebrating both Halloween and Christmas.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't celebrate Christmas but celebrating Hanukkah, let's go meet with someone who can talk about Hanukkah. With my elf's magic, we'll whisk you to him, and then we'll get back to Christmas Cavalcade later. What's up? This is Mike, coming to you at my house to celebrate Hanukkah, which is 8 days and 8 nights. Here's the prayer that I'll be lighting these candles for Hanukkah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahanik nel shel Hanukkah. Amen. And the best part of Hanukkah is singing songs, like Mahotzur. And there are many other Hanukkah songs, not just for the children, but for everyone else as well.
Hanukkah, the Festival of Lights, a celebration for the Jewish, lighting 8 days and 8 nights of the Hanukkah menorah. Here's the story.
2,000 years ago, around 160 BC, the Syrians invaded Jerusalem and desecrated the temple, a Jewish holy site. That's when a handful of Jewish settlers rose up and the story of Hanukkah was born.
An evil king named Antiochus had forced the Jews to give up their religious beliefs. But a small group called the Maccabees with Judah fights back and reclaim the holy temple.
To make the temple holy once again, the Jews needed oil to light the temple menorah. Even though they had only enough for one day, the menorah miraculously stayed lit for 8 days. This tradition of lighting the candles has brought countless Jews together over the years.
And this tradition of Hanukkah continues today. We light the lights with the miracles, wonders, and triumphs for 8 days and 8 nights of Hanukkah.
And that's the Hanukkah segment. This is Mike, and I'll be wishing you, from all of us here to all of you there, a happy Hanukkah. Back to you, Agent Mike. All right. Now let's get back to Christmas Cavalcade. Thank you for providing us a Hanukkah lesson. Hey folks, don't go away because we got more stuff coming up here at Agent Mike's Movie TV Show Revewer Christmas Cavalcade.
When we come back, we will review this 1994 Disney film, The Santa Claus, as well as Timothy Tweedle, the First Christmas Elf, released back in 2000. Then in 1996, The Story of Santa Claus was released on CBS. I'll definitely talk about and review this holiday TV special that is really a cult classic. Then, a Disney live-action film released in 1998 called I'll Be Home for Christmas with Jonathan Taylor Thomas that I'll be reviewing it. And in 1999, everyone's favorite animated special, Jingle Bells. This will also include a sing-along segment. You're gonna love this song as Agent Mike's movie TV show Revewer Christmas Cavalcade returns in the next part.